everyone. Welcome to the podcast where idea meets impact. Today's episode explores a question that sits at the heart of disabled and inclusive development. Let us welcome our guest, Dr. Hindumati Rao, ma'am, highly respected figure in disabled and inclusive development and community-based rehabilitation across South Asia. She is also a chairperson of GPDD, Global Partnership for Disability Development initiated by the World Bank Trust Fund, Vice Chairman, National BAL Bhavan, Regional Advisor of CBR Network South Asia, Member Standing Committee on Women's Studies UGC, Advisory Committee for National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, a member of Subcommittee on Disabled Niti Ayog. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
She is also an influencer and the initiative including Nivedita Shishu Kendra, Nivedita Manovikasa Kendra, Seva in Action, and the CBR Network South Asia. My main question is that when we say the inclusive schools, what should genuinely mean for a child with a disability sitting in a classroom today? Because they find their identification is abnormal with themselves. So what could you say for them?
In fact, your question has you have used few terms.
Disability.
When we use the word disability, it is a vast. There are many types of disabilities, and Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act that was passed in by Indian Parliament in 2016. After India signed UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in 2006, it looks at inclusivity, equitability as the core value system. And I would also add the National Education Policy 2020, which also has a focus on inclusivity and equitability. And to that, I would also add another major international pathfinding effort that is called Sustainable Development Goals Agenda 17, which has a major focus on inclusivity and equitability. So when children are included in schools, when they have diverse needs, I would not call it a disability. Each one is unique in the creation of nature. When a child has a diversity, when the child has a diverse need, then the school should accommodate its structure, physical environment, and the way children learn that needs adaptations. So we need these adaptations in 4 dimensions: in content, method, materials, and evaluation. If the schools are well versed in making these adaptations and accommodations, all children, including children with diverse needs, can benefit from inclusive environment. And what other children? So, every person has some disability. They may be aware or they may not be aware. And a lot of disabilities are maybe invisible for a common man. So they were not identified, but children will have experienced difficulty either in curricular activity or in co-curricular activity. So it's very important to recognize these diverse needs and adapt. And children also learn to celebrate this diversity because the nature is full of diversity. So it is very important to have inclusivity because we cannot create separate services for separate sets of people. It is neither feasible nor affordable nor sustainable. So it is very important to promote inclusivity. But inclusivity, it should be at 3 levels. There should be physical inclusion, there should be social inclusion, and there should be functional inclusion. And changing mindset becomes the core value system in inclusion.
Ma'am, actually, you gave a brief idea about how we need to have the inclusive thing in surroundings. And my next question is that the UNCRPD reminds us that disability is not a matter of right, dignity, participation, and it's an equal opportunity to a person, not a charity or a welfare. So, what must shift with the people's mindset in a society?
That's a very valid question. See, if we look at the entire um, disability movement since 70s, uh, in early 70s, we saw people with disabilities as a separate group, and they were excluded from the families and the community, and there were separate services for them called institutes, and they lived there, and they were not part of families. So that is what we saw in 60s and 70s. And in 80s, we saw it is not possible or feasible or sustainable. Then we looked at a big movement called integration, where there is a movement where people talking about integrating people with disabilities in the mainstream development program, be it in education or employment or health. So they should be an integral part of the system. Then in when UNCRPD, when it came into force, and Government of India signed and ratified in 2006. Then it also changed the earlier act called Disability Act 1995 into a new act called Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act in 2016. The major change is all these years disabilities, only few disabilities were seen as disability, but in after CRPD, both invisible and visible disabilities were included, and the the very approach was not based on pity or charity, but on the matter of rights. So rights based vision talks about helping a person, facilitating, instead of help I would use the term facilitate an environment where every individual can live with dignity and respect. That is the core principle of UNCRPD, and that goes with the different areas, and the government of India is also committed, and many countries have signed and ratified. But we should see that actually translating into action, especially in rural areas, because 76% of our people with disabilities, they live in rural India. So, but majority of services are urban based. So we should really focus on rural areas.
Yeah. The what you said was actually very right. And my next question is: India has a progressive disability policies and strong legal frameworks and global committees and all. Yet many person with a disability still encounters a lot of barriers from the society. So how do we move the policy from on the paper policy? What is there? How can we bring into a ground, like into a reality?
Yeah. See, to come out with a policy and signing international conventions, it just needs a bureau political will. So after signing, then the important question is from panchayat to parliament level, how it gets translated into action. That needs multiple partners. And disability in Indian under Indian Constitution, it is a state subject. It is a PRI subject. It is not listed in the central list, or it is not in the concurrent list. Why it has been included as a state subject and a PRI subject is people closer to people where they live, they have a higher responsibility to create an environment where people with disabilities can participate. So when these policies are signed and ratified at the central level, but when it doesn't get translated at the state level, or when it does not get fully implemented at the panchayat level, at village level, then these policies just remains on paper. So it is very important that it is implemented, and also I would like to add, not only being implemented, but it should be implemented with very good quality outcomes and indicators. So this accountability is very, very important. The quality of inclusion is really matters. It is not just physical inclusion. It is, and the database is not just head counting. We need to go more about the quality of life, because we don't have a complete database on disability. It was included in 2011 census in India, but after that there is no data, and even there they did not include all 21 types of disabilities. So we don't have the number of people with disabilities. So how do you plan? So it's very important to have mandated registration of all people with disabilities at the grassroots level, whether it is an urban ward level or panchayat level. There has to be mandatory screening, mandatory registration and assessment and diagnosis, and then planning say measures. It could be like UDID card. Government of India gives an identity card, and also inclusion into the mainstream programs. There is really no need to set up separate services for separate sets of people. Inclusion is our latest mantra. We
Yeah.
have to practice that should be included with the dignity and be included with specific, observable, measurable, achievable outcomes. So it is very important to plan that way, and for that we need very good quality roadmaps, district roadmaps, block level roadmaps that has to be planned and implemented.
Yeah, inclusive, you can just say it's a mantra for a modern society to come up with a solution of this disability.
Yes, yes, you're right. See, I would see disability inclusion as an entry point to improve the existing education system, an entry point to improve the existing health system, entry point in improving the startups and incubators. I would see this as an entry point because, see, disability can happen many times for children, even before they enter this world. There can be disability when they are still in the womb, but at the time of birth, there is a huge number of, uh, difficult pregnancies leading to birth asphyxia and children developing disabilities. Or they can acquire disabilities due to malnutrition or due to illness. Or they can acquire disability due to accident. There can be disabilities due to war. And if we escape all that, aging and disability, they go hand in hand. So there is absolutely no escape from disability. So it is very important to see that disability as an entry point to make everything inclusive and equitable so that it benefits everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the one thing which you could say that in a very short thing, that triggers more for a transformative change in you across the system for tomorrow's thing, for our upcoming generation. In a one sentence, how could you say?
I would really look at the entire change should begin at the community level, at the family level. Empowering families, empowering community is very, very important. And knowledge, in fact, the solutions are not that complicated, but ignorance becomes a major barrier. So, removing ignorance on disability and the potential. And since we come from a country where we have the story of sage Ashtavakra, Ashtavakra went to Janaka's palace because Janaka Maharaja's palace had very knowledgeable people. So he wanted to meet them. But when Ashtavakra Rishi went, everyone started laughing, looking at Ashtavakra. Then Ashtavakra quips, saying, "Oh, Janaka, I cannot. You have very knowledgeable, wise people, but all that you have is a set of few cobblers who can't see beyond skin. So I wasted my time." So this is really eye-opening that people should understand that it is inner potential that matters. And we have another sloka in Sanskrit, Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate kirim. So when you have inner potential, all these barriers are no barriers at all. And if you really don't use your inner potential, optimum use of inner potential is what is required. Then even when you can see, when you can hear, when you can talk, when you can move about, you can't do much in your life. So it's very important to focus on inner shakti,
Yeah.
inner potential.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I sincerely thank you for sharing your insight and wisdom and decades of experience you carried about this. So yeah, this is a episode sparked with a new thoughts. Share it with the educators, policymakers, and the students, and anyone interested in building a more inclusive society. Also, until next time, stay curious, stay aware, keep working towards an inclusive world. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, धन्यवाद.